What is up, everybody? Saturday morning, 5:30 in the morning. What the heck is going on with Mullen? This crazy thing happened. Something fishy is going on, as you can see, crashing down. And then the very last minute, before market closes, basically, we just massively run up. Grab your coffee for this one. As you can see, volume on the day, that is not correct. Volume on the day is 26 million. We hit lows on the day of 43.8, highs of the day of 46. And we ended up closing at 45.4. Let's talk about it. I'm going to be breaking down the latest news, and we're going to talk about these little bits and pieces that I actually ended up reading. I'm going to give it its diagnosis, right? So if you like this channel, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think is going on. Drop a like if you find any value. I would always appreciate that. If you don't like how I talk, if you don't like the content I give you, you can leave. You don't have to watch this video. It is all good. The company has achieved significant milestones and continues to deliver on our commitments. I remain optimistic and committed that Mullen is on the right path to achieving all business objectives, which will benefit our customers, shareholders, that's all I care about right now, and employees. Sincerely, David, CEO. What is your belief level that this statement is at all true? He remains optimistic and committed. Okay, we know you're committed. We know you work 16-hour days, but optimistic? It's just a weird word to use, being the CEO. It doesn't really sound confident to me. You're the CEO of a company. You're going to use optimistic? You're not going to tell us exactly what the plan is? You don't think he could write something way better than this in the little news that they put out? So David, is not my friend at the end of the day. I'm still not a fan of David. You can say whatever you want about me, but let's be real. The guy is not a good CEO. He's not a good leader. Definitely not a good leader. He was put in a position, okay? Not a leader. He's more like a boss. He's just placed in the position as a CEO, more like a puppet on strings. Wow, I must have not got any sleep because I am just going off today because this is frustrating. Now let's talk about this because this is the most important thing, which is the Nasdaq extension, okay? Now let's see if this is good or bad or in between. Let's break it down. So Mullen requested a hearing before a Nasdaq panel for the Nasdaq extension. Basically, the hearing has been granted, so that's good news. That means basically they're going to hear them out, right? And I'm sure once Mullen brings their case, they'll get approved because they have proof of illegal shorting. So that, for one, they could just use the illegal shorting that happened. I believe they said in May was what their case was. Is it started happening in May of 2023, they could literally just use that, and then Nasdaq will probably give them an extension because they could say, hey, that was the reason that our stock has gone down so much and shareholders have lost so much value. Talking about shareholders, let's go back here real quick. Another question I would have is benefit our shareholders. So how is this going to benefit shareholders? Because David must believe this thing's going back to like $100. Okay, because there's shareholders that have bought into this stock and put in a ton of money before the two reverse stock splits. So is he talking about old shareholders from like a couple years ago, or is he talking about new shareholders? Is he talking about the shareholders that just bought in at 39 cents? Maybe they bought the bottom, which I've been saying is a double bottom. We'll see if that holds true, and we'll see if this is a higher low where we closed at 45 cents on Friday, and I'm going to show you the charts and break that down for you. But what shareholders is he talking about? So what do you guys think? Do you think he's talking about the OG shareholders that first got into this? Or do you think he's talking about the new guys that are just getting in? And if you're a new guy, congrats to you because your cost basis is a lot better than most of us. Back to this now. So the hearing's been granted and the hearing request stays any suspension or delisting action pending the hearing and the expiration of any additional extension period granted by the panel following the hearing. Let's talk about that real quick. This is what scares me. We don't have a date for this, unless we do. If someone knows the date, please let me know down below. We don't have a date for the hearing though. So what does that mean? Mullen has time. Mullen has time to do whatever the heck they want because they have a hearing. The hearing could be 2 weeks out, so they could be doing warrants. They could be diluting the stock right now. They can do whatever they want because they have time. So it doesn't matter if it's 45 cents by the time the hearing comes around. It doesn't matter if it's 39 cents by the time the hearing comes around. They can literally keep us sideways for the next week or so, and they don't have to drop any news because now they have time, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So that's the bad news in my perspective. The good news is they have Donahoe Advisory Associates, LLC, to represent its interests in this matter and to articulate its case to the panel as the company works towards regaining compliance with Nasdaq bid price requirement, which being $1. So from this, the positive news is they are working it. They have someone that has been doing this for a while, and I think it'll be a positive outlook once they get there. Another thing I want to talk about before I show you the charts, you're gonna want to see this because it actually kind of looks good. Just looking at the technicals on the 1 hour. This news right here. Let's talk about this buyback real quick because Mullen has the opportunity to buy back $25 million worth of shares. Okay? So the question is, why have they not bought back all of those shares yet? Because you can see right here that Mullen has purchased about $5.6 million in shares of its common stock, okay, which includes an additional 2 million shares in new purchases since the company's original announcement. This is the interesting part. It says right here, company continues to look for opportune moments to purchase additional shares. Opportune moments. Do they really feel like there hasn't been an opportunity this last week? Or are they planning on buying soon if we hold this higher low around 45 cents and then start to move up? But the question is, why would they buy close to $1 and they haven't purchased any when we've hit all-time lows 2 times of 39 cents? That doesn't make me feel confident in the company with their belief in their stock and their product, right? Like let's really think about this. Let's use common sense right now. Why haven't they bought any more shares? That is the question I honestly have. The questions I have is, why haven't you bought in any more shares yet? Do you not think like this is a good price? Do you think this isn't an opportune moment? It makes no sense. And the other question I want to get clear on is, when is this Nasdaq hearing to get this extension? Because that's very important. Now let's talk about the good stuff real quick. This is an hour time frame because with Mullen, I feel like we just have to start looking at the hour because this thing moves like crazy, right? Especially if you're trading, if you're trying to increase your overall share count, make sure you join the Patreon down below. $7 to $10. I don't know how many spots are left, but we have an amazing Discord, an amazing chat, a lot of smart people, and we talk a lot about Mullen. Check it out. But let's talk about this. You see the all-time lows of 39 cents, double bottom, then we ran, now we're coming back down, okay? What's interesting is I want you to look at the RSI right here. It's kind of looking like, with this yellow arrow, it's kind of looking like this RSI is coming down, and then we just peaked above this yellow line right here. But before, where that yellow arrow is, we were coming down and then we ran, okay? And that's when we double bottomed at 39, then we ran about 90%. So this is kind of looking similar, so is a run about to come. Well, if we hold this higher low and we don't come further down it, let's say we hold 44, 45 cents, then it could happen. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Have a great weekend. See you on the next one.